Welcome to a special edition of Red Reality. We are just coming from protests here in Iceland and standing in solidarity with Palestinians condemning the genocidal attacks from the Israeli army against innocent people in Gaza. And we have with us Muhammed Alkurd. Welcome. He's from Palestine, been living in Iceland for some time. Oliver Axfjörð is here and Trausti Breiðfjörð as well. We're going to go a little bit over, the story of Israel and Palestine, and then talk with Muhammed about the realities of what has been going on. And, where to begin? Well, let's see the map. Let's see Israel and Palestine. And here we can see them from the year 1946, right before the foundation of Israel and the beginning of the slow ethnic cleansing that's sometimes more rapid, but you can see then the UN, the United Nations, had a plan in 1947. These are the borders. This is what it's going to look like. But Israel remained aggressive, stole land, killed people, took more. And if we can see the map again, we had another plan in 1967 from the United Nations that most countries in the world accepted, and it was assumed that Israel would follow these guidelines. But as we can see from the map in 2012, they have continued to take land, they have continued to oppress the Palestinians, completely destroying their infrastructure, kicking them out of their houses, and keeping Palestinians in an open-air prison in the Gaza Strip. And we hear a lot about how terrible it is for the Israelis, but let's see a photo that goes over how many people have died these last few years in these conflicts. We have another photo here. From 2008, you can see the Palestinians are suffering way more killings, murders and abuse, 20 to 1, and even beyond that. Mm-hmm. We have a poignant tweet here we're going to show. Yeah. 17 mosques, 4 universities fully, 6 damaged parts, partially 1,219 homes fully, 10,800 partially, 84 industrial facilities, 46 media offices, 67 schools. Entire neighborhoods are gone. And this is ongoing. These are old numbers, so it's just ongoing. We have another strong point from our friend Ben Norton from the Geopolitical Economy report. He says, Israel is killing so many children in its indiscriminate carpet bombing of Gaza, where 2+ million civilians are trapped, that it is fabricating absurd rumors with zero evidence. This is projection. It's what imperialists always do, accuse their victims of exactly what they do. And that brings us back to Iceland, because we had a revealing incident, I think, in one of our media organizations here, where a parliamentarian from the Independence Party named Diljá was trying to accuse a Palestinian Icelandic woman in Iceland of supporting the terrorist attacks by Hamas on innocent civilians, where all she was saying was that she supports Palestine's right to resist occupation, because like we've seen with the maps and with the killings, the Israelis are not letting up. They are continuing to take land, to kill people, to oppress, and then the West wants us to condemn Hamas and defend Israel's right to defend itself. Well, nobody is doing that. Nobody is celebrating killings of innocent people. That is exactly the point. And one final tweet we hear about the Western hypocrisy. In this regard and many others, unfortunately, Ali Abunama says here, I confess that in my life I was too slow to recognize that every pretension of human rights, democracy, international law, etc., that the West purports to hold is fake, hollow, a total sham, a mere costume for psychopathic monsters who commit mass murder without hesitation.
Fucking
so
preach.
We'll open up the conversation here. Do you think this is a correct assessment of the West?
I would say so, definitely. If you look at just like, for example, me, I was born in 1996, but since then I've seen so many scenarios like this. For example, the Iraq War back in 2003, the way it was justified, and 1 million people were killed then. after that, I think for a lot of people, the masks kind of fell off for our generation, for what our like hemisphere stands for when they say we stand for human rights. So this thing that we see now with the Israelis attacks is just another nail in the coffin, I think, for a lot of people. Maybe for some people this is new, but at least for me this is not
and now we have a desperate situation going on in Gaza, Muhammed. You have been telling us horrible stories. People are without electricity, they're without food and water. Can you tell us something what's been happening?
Yes, as you know, the war is in Gaza now, and many people dying, innocent people, civilians, children, women, old people, you know. And I think in Western media they don't talk about this. And as I was saying before, and there's no children from occupation get killed. And of course, as I told you there, like, we are happy that no children get killed, because this is so bad, you know. But on the other side in Gaza, like more than 740 children got killed until now. So this is really big number.
Absolutely
and
horrible.
I really wish the Western media and anybody who's honest to say the truth from Gaza, to say how many children got killed there. This is really important, because otherwise, well, why you in media if you don't want to say the truth, you know?
Regarding the tweet earlier where they were talking about the hypocrisy, Israel has blatantly lied about those children being killed, about about Hamas beheading children when there was no substantial evidence for it, and even the U.S. came out later and said we haven't seen any evidence for it. It didn't happen.
For us, it's probably hard to understand, us here in Iceland, because we have a relatively very equal society compared to many places in the world. But like being from Gaza, from Palestine, if you're a Palestinian inside Israel, you do not enjoy the same rights. The same doesn't count for you as for an Israeli civilian.
Of course, they have much more rights than me, because at least they have their own passport. They have two passports. They have their own passport. Like, for example, if somebody come from Germany or from Poland, from any Russia or any other country, so he have his own passport and the Israeli passport. For the Palestinian, we have the Palestinian Authority passport, and we can travel anywhere, like only Turkey, Egypt. And we don't have like much rights, really.
And like you can't go back sometimes. Like I've heard about that. Palestinians in America and so on, they can't go.
I lost my Palestinian passport for me, and it's very difficult for me to go back until I have a new one. And if you want to make a new one, also it's difficult and it's complicated, because our authority in West Bank, and I'm from Gaza, we have to make like I didn't have it since 2019 until now.
And also, like what I was trying to get at is that, you know, we've seen 400 children being murdered by the Israeli defense forces.
Yeah.
But that isn't plastered all over our media, like the attacks on the music festival was, because those are, you know, real citizens. Those are real people to the Western world, and to the imperialist forces who are trying to continue this occupation, continue this genocide.
Yes.
So, you know, I'm at a loss for words. You know, it's horrible seeing what's happening.
It's pure hypocrisy, and also like we have to put into the conversation the racism aspect of it. What Israelis can be considered as, but not Arabs, not Muslims. It is belief in that supremacy, that they have the right to exist, to defend themselves. But each time Palestinians defend themselves and try to fight for their rights, it's always terrorism. It's always unwarranted attacks.
Yeah, actually, I would like to talk about this. For example, if we want to talk about the Arabian people, we will not say Muslim, because, you know, we will just say Arabian. For example, in Algeria, more than 2 million people got killed. But nobody talks about this from French in the past.
The Independence
also,
War.
in Iraq, he was saying that 1 million got killed. But I want to give him the right information. 1 million children got killed in Iraq because of hunger. But other people, there's more people got killed. Also, like in Syria and Yemen and in Libya, in different Arabian countries. And also, you talk about Gaza now and about Palestine. You know, you can see in TV and media every day the Palestinian got killed in West Bank. Every day in West Bank they got killed. And, you know, Palestinian Authority there, they can do nothing because the occupation everywhere inside West Bank. Even it's not allowed for them, but they're inside. In Jerusalem, it's a mosque. And it's a mosque. It's for Muslim people. But you go there for what? They kill many people in Jerusalem. They attack, they take people in the prison. And about Gaza, as you know, since the occupation start until now, many wars, many killing, they're talking about cutting head of children. They did that in the past. They did much
horrible
worse
atrocities.
Than this. Much worse. Even last, maybe 5 years ago, I think, the child, his name Muhammed Abu Khdair, is from West Bank or from Hebron. You can search about this. They make fire of his family house and all his family's dad and the child. You can see all his faces burning. Who's the terrorist? We cannot do something like this. This is really horrible. And in Gaza, in 2008, they killed many people. In 2005, in 2000 also. In 2000, I lost the first cousin. It was in 2000. And then in 2008, I lost 3 cousins. And then in 2012, and then 2014, and 2018, and then 21, 22, until now, 23. I lost many people from my family. And imagine the Palestinian, how many people they lost from their family, their relative, so it's very difficult. But because we are under occupation, so will always be like this. Because, if these countries, they really want to support us, it means they will remove the occupation. But they doesn't want to do this. We will always be like this. We will always get killed. We will always not be showing in media because they want this.
And now, they're, all this violence over all this time, this terrible destruction. I don't remember quite, but the median age in Palestine is very low.
It's about 19.
19 because people are just being killed, they're dying, and then you have this Hamas faction that assumes control, is actually voted in.
As we know, Hamas came after the occupation 20 years after, or more than 20 years. So it was the Palestinian Authority and also the organization, Fatah organization, it's from the Palestinian Authority also. And they were fighting with the stones. We don't have guns or anything. And also they were calling us terrorists. So whatever you do, you will be calling terrorists all the time. This is the right time we talk about the occupation, because this is the beginning of the problem. They're saying they have right to defend themselves. Okay, did you forget that there are occupation?
So how is it defending when you cut off the water, when you cut off the electricity, when you bomb the evacuation routes, when you bomb the hospitals? What is how is that defending itself? And all the leaders, even from Iceland, are saying they have a right to defend themselves. Can you point me where exactly they are defending?
We have always to remember this is an occupation. So we have to defend ourselves. And their army, it calls a defense army. Imagine, and we are terrorists. We are, it's the owners of the land.
And in the last couple of years, Israel has been going more to the right, the neo-fascist tendencies propping up, land being taken at a more rapidly advancing pace. Can you tell us something about the rise of Netanyahu and the far right in Israel?
I think he's in big trouble now, as you know, because of this war, and he want to run away from this, because otherwise he will be in jail. Israeli people will put him in jail. So he has no solution, only to attack Gaza and kill many people as he can. Of course, it's civilians people, but he doesn't care. He just wants to show his people how many people got killed. Show you, look, how many terrorists I killed. 1,000 or 2,000 or 3,000. That's what he wants to do. Otherwise, he will be in jail.
Absolutely terrible. We have a clip here from the late and great Michael Brooks, and we're gonna play it here.
Are you not concerned about the binary between either condemning Israel entirely, being like also a stance that a lot of like very strong and notorious anti-Semitic people agree with, versus like, you know, seeing this as more of a complex issue where it is wrong what's going on, and that there's also a way to do this, that Israel still exists and is supported?
So it's not a complex issue. That's the big thing. It's super simple. There's one group that has enormous power. It's the most powerful country in the Middle East. It's backed by the United States. It acts on another population of people with total impunity and is never held accountable for anything. So there's no symmetry in the relationship, period. And just as like a thought experiment, IDW people, if we know that if somehow a population of Jewish refugees ended up in West Bank and Gaza, and an Arabic government in Jerusalem and Tel Aviv had an open-air prison in Jewish Gaza, which they bombed with white phosphorus, they killed civilians indiscriminately, and they had no provisions for medicine. They had an embargo that blocked food, that electricity wasn't running, that there was an over 48% unemployment rate, life expectancy and malnutrition statistics were horrifying. One of the major policymakers in this hypothetical Arabic Palestinian state said, we need to put those Jews on a diet. In the West Bank, there was another Jewish area where there was a little bit more autonomy, but there was regular Arabic settlements where they pulled up the Jewish farmers' foods, they terrorized them with rocks, the security forces broke children's bones, and they couldn't drive on their own roads. We'd all have no problem understanding what that was. So there's nothing complex about it. The second part of your question, it's a pure asymmetry relationship. And the question is rights or not. So that's it. It's not complicated. The second part of your question, at this point, there's always going to be crackpots who are anti-Semitic who condemn Israel. That's not what drives the movement, it's particularly in the United States. If you work around most people who are concerned with this issue, it's actually populated with a lot of Jewish people. The real question we have to ask is, why is it that AIPAC is hosting an information minister for Slobodan Milosevic? Why is it that there's relationships between the Israeli government and far-right parties in Europe? Why is it that Benjamin Netanyahu's son is posting borderline alt-right memes? Why is it that Israel is an alt-right state, even though it is from the descendants of the victims of one of the greatest crimes in history? That's a serious question, and that's inseparable from the racism of the project, which goes back to the first part that we have to solve.
Yeah, we wanted to show that from Michael Brooks, because it was just so clearly said, so well spoken. It's not complicated. It really isn't. Like he takes the example, if these were any other people, if essentially if these people were white in Gaza, and we had an Arab, government being Israel in Israel's role, the whole international Western community would be absolutely outraged, and it would be stopped right away. And it's very interesting seeing that we have the far right in Europe and in America really like propping up Netanyahu, figures like Ben Shapiro, like Jordan Peterson. I wonder, what is this about? People like Jordan Peterson, he says he takes the Bible very seriously and human rights. But when the United Nations finally condemned Israel's attacks on Gaza currently going on, Jordan Peterson shared that on Twitter and said that the UN was evil.
But it's not the alt-right. Even you can see Ursula von der Leyen from the EU. She's, by the way, unelected. Yeah. And she just went to Israel and was like unequivocally supporting them and said, Europe stands with you. Like, who is she to say that? But like these people that pretend that they are like, or say they are liberals, they say they're fighting against the alt-right or whatever, they are also supporting Israel. So it's the alt-right is like more open about it, but I think you can see pretty much all of the Western countries are supporting Israel.
And it seems Ursula took the decision of like putting the Israeli flag up on there in Brussels, plastering it up.
Actually, as a Palestinian, we really don't understand why all this power for Israel. like, what's the reason? What's the point also? You call yourself democracy country and many things, you know, but in the end, why you support the occupation, you know?
Yeah.
And you know, your people are angry in every European country because most of them are against this. They know the truth. But the governments are supporting occupation all the time with all their power, all their money, everything. We really don't understand the point.
Also, the media in the Western countries, like we can see it, for example, in Iceland, maybe if we show pictures of...
Yeah, we have one incident here that came up in Iceland where in a prominent news show, in the description, they said, Vikologin, we have a picture there, they said that Israelis have been murdered in terrorist attacks. But people in Gaza are just dying in the conflict. They're not being killed, they're dying. This is a very important distinction. But it actually seems to me that maybe our media is not doing this consciously, but they're like translating language that they're getting from the BBC.
Yeah, and Reuters and all these is other medias, because we can see, as for example, in Reuters, there was a journalist that was killed by an Israeli airstrike attack, and they just said he died, and they didn't say in the statement who killed him. Their own journalist, so they won't even say that.
Yeah, they mean it, of course, to say this, but this is also show that they are not honest in their war, and people will not believe anymore. Like, why are you saying about these people that they got killed and these people are dying? It's war. So I think they should be honest, more honest about this.
Definitely, and like you were saying, like why are they supporting? Why is the West supporting the occupation? The current president of the United States said in the 90s that if the United States wasn't funding Israel with $3 billion a year or whatever the amount was at the time, we would just find an excuse to build a state there because we need to secure our interests in the Middle East.
It is the best $3 billion investment we make. Were there not an Israel, the United States of America would have to invent an Israel to protect her interest in the region. The United States would have to go out and invent an Israel.
Exactly, that's right. Even if they don't have money, they will collect from people and send it to them from their taxes or whatever.
Yeah.
But they want to keep it safe, always there. Why, we don't know, really.
They're always interfering in this region, but also everywhere in the world. They just want to get into these places to secure money, secure resources, everything. Yes. And if Israel is there, it's very convenient for the United States.
And you were showing us some pictures here, Muhammed. We're going to show some of them as well. I warned people that these might be unsettling, but you showed us far worse pictures that we cannot show because we're streaming on YouTube as well. So this is the IDF defense forces holding down children, carrying them out.
Yes.
Can you tell us something? Some of these photos are old, but what's going on?
Yeah, it's old. We have a lot of pictures, actually, new pictures, but this is in West Bank, in Gaza in the past, and but this is just taking children in the street, taking them to the prison, and we cannot, as you said, we cannot show the pictures when the children got killed because it's very horrible pictures, and YouTube and social media probably will delete it. But if somebody from occupation got killed, and even if they share his picture with body, blood, or whatever, they will keep this picture.
And they also...
We know this as a Palestinian. We have experience with this. So they will keep it to show the world, oh, look at the Palestinians, they kill us and blah, blah, blah. But why you don't show the truth from Palestine? Why you don't show... If I want to show the horrible picture as I show you, it's very difficult for them, and they will delete it because they are Palestinian.
So they do a lot of this. They take children from families to separate, or...
Oh, it's happened many times in Palestine. It happened. Yeah.
This was from a reporter just 9 hours ago.
Matas Azaisa, I recommend everybody who's willing to see what he posts. It can be harrowing and heart-wrenching, and it's oftentimes very brutal and horrible.
And this is why for us in the West it's very important we press on our governments who are defending this. They are whitewashing this. This is what's going on right now in these spoken words. And we have to pressure our governments to let up with their support on Israel and stand up for Palestinian rights.
It's the reality of the situation. It's it's just in every way horrible. And
actually, we don't push them to support Palestine. At least we just want them to say the truth. That's all. We don't need more, because if they're saying the truth, people will know. Now, like, look at the media, for example. They always, even if they know, people don't, most of the people, they don't believe of this, what they're sharing to the people. And people, they know this is lie, but they keep sharing this because, the example said lie, lie, lie until the people will believe, So they always share in the news everywhere. In the end, they can say, yeah, this was a mistake. And the people was seeing these videos, they will not hear you when you say this was a mistake, So they will have an idea about Palestinians. So nobody will tell them, oh, don't believe, no, this is not true. Because this is already happening in media and it's already in their brain. It's difficult to change it.
Can I ask about your relatives back in Gaza?
Of course.
The electricity has been cut off and the water supply. Have you managed to stay in contact?
It's very difficult because I get some messages only sometimes, but if I want to send a message, I really send them big message for explanation about the water, electricity, how are you, do you need help, something. And they answer me the same, like a big message, because they don't know like if they will be online again or not. And every night, I stay all the night watching TV because I don't know, maybe they can die anytime, because they kill civilians, people everywhere. And actually, I lost around 22 from my family and relative in this war. And I think there is 3 missing, 2 of them under the houses with the bombing, and one of them they don't know until now, they don't know where he is. So, and the war is still until now, so I don't know how many people I'm gonna lose from my family and from my people and my friends. Imagine, like, we have a really small community, even we are 2.something million in Gaza, but it's very small. We all see each other every day, so we know each other. And imagine to lose your friend every day, to lose your relative, it's very difficult, really. That's the situation.
Absolutely horrible, and it's ongoing. We have to call out our governments that are covering this up. They're whitewashing what's going on. They're talking about Israel's right to defend itself while Israel is doing this to Gaza, to the Palestinians. People are dying in droves, literally. It's horrible. And our prime minister, who was very vocal for the Palestinians in the past, she hasn't said anything. And she needs to say something. It does matter. It matters that the international community starts speaking sense, starts applying real pressure on Israel to let off on these attacks. I'm not exactly sure how to finish this.
Yes, people who know me know I rarely get very angry, but this thing is making me and so many people here in Iceland, we are so angry about our government, because this is just, they don't say a word, they just pretend nothing is happening in Gaza, and they only say something to support Israel. This is just, I don't know what to say, but I'm really angry.
They're fucking cowards. They're spineless little shits, all of them. Like, it's just, yeah, there's nothing more I can say about it. It's just cowardice.
Actually, I want to say something. Even if they will not talk here or they will not say in media or something, they will say it after, because this war will not stop easy.
No.
Many civilians, many Palestinian civilians will be killed, will be killing, you know. And you will know, because I'm from Gaza and I know this is real war. And even when small, like war, with some days they were killing thousands of Palestinians. But imagine, this is really big war. And until now, as I told you, more than 700 kids, 700 children got killed. Women, old people, like, and this war will not stop easy, and it will take time. I know what I'm telling you, and you will see many people will die. So they should talk now better than late.
Yeah,
you know?
before thousands, possibly tens of thousands are dead.
Yes.
Muhammed, Alkurd, Trausti, Oliver, thank you for covering this with us. And listeners and watchers, please show your solidarity with Palestinians. Resist the mainstream media and the mainstream political elites who want you to stand with Israel. It's completely ludicrous. We need to pressure our governments to pressure Israel to apply sanctions, if need be, for them to lay off their terrorist attacks on Gaza that are breaking international law.
Stop the Holocaust.